Hello everyone!
Hello.
Welcome to the Tom and Michaela Cook Show!
I know how the kids feel now.
Now, since we started this filming series, there's been one video, one recipe that's been liked and shared more than any of the others. Michaela's smoked salmon lasagna recipe has broken all records.
Come on.
It's put me firmly in my place, so I feel it's right that she continues and does another recipe, because that's what the people want, right, Axel?
Yeah.
Yeah? Right. Okay, so, Mikan, what are we cooking? Go on, tell us, what are we cooking?
Today we're going to cook another one of my favorites.
And what's that?
It's the Salmon Wellington.
Oh, salmon again.
I know.
Okay.
It is actually quite funny when we talked about this. I realised that it's actually the salmon again. It's the spinach again. And actually the dill as well, but we don't have any dill. So
Sorry
we
about
have to
that.
improvise.
So we're doing salmon again, we're doing spinach again, and we're doing dill again, but we couldn't find any dill, so we got parsley
So
instead.
hopefully anyone who liked the lasagna might actually enjoy this dish
So all
as well.
yeah, all the Scandi kids get on this, yeah.
It is
Yes.
a lovely, lovely dish, and it is actually my favourite. When we have it at the pub, I would always order
It's a
it.
good dish,
It
and
is
it's a good dish for the weekend, and
Yeah.
it's got pastry around it, and as we all know, the Brits love a bit of pastry. So it's good. So block us through your dish. What are you going to do?
So I'm gonna prepare the fish
Where did you get your fish from?
from Welsh's Fishmonger down in
Welsh's,
New Haven.
home delivery,
Of course.
smashing it,
Yeah,
well
they're
done,
doing
Gary
a
and
great
team.
job and fabulous stuff as well.
Mhm.
So we've had a lot of fish this last
So
few
you're going
weeks.
to do your fish, yeah?
Gonna do the fish. We've just sorted off the spinach actually.
Any
Just to-
tips for the viewers on cooking the spinach?
Because I've already done that tip with the fork and everything.
Ah,
I
this
think
one.
we'll stick with that one.
Ah,
Yeah, exactly.
So we didn't
we've
bore
done it
you
the
with
same.
cooking the spinach again. We've done that exactly the same as in the smoked salmon recipe.
And I think really, you know, we're just going to assemble it and talk you through how to do it.
It's a
hopefully.
good dinner party dish. It's
It
a
is.
good dish that you can prepare, get it in the fridge, and then you can be nice and relaxed. Just pop it in the oven.
I think we
and
often
enjoy
have
it.
it here in the house for a special birthday or anything, you know, something like that.
Mm.
We have a birthday this weekend coming
We
up.
do.
haven't we?
Twins are 7 this weekend,
Yeah.
Sunday.
So,
I wish you the best of luck. I hope it's another winning dish that's going to smash all the
I got
records.
such a pressure on me now, dear.
Mm.
I'm going to do my best.
Go girl.
Thanks. Okay. I'll be live.
We're live.
Oh dear. Okay, so we're going to do the salmon. I've got a side of salmon, like we said. Okay, you really stitched me up now, haven't you? This salmon has skin on it. Thank you very much. Okay, oh dear, I wasn't expecting that, but it's a beautiful piece of salmon. It's very big. And it's also got a lot of skin on it. So thank you very much. So now you obviously want me to show you how to fillet this. Really funny, Tom.
Oh dear.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm gonna try and give it my best shot. I would trim this off a little bit. I wouldn't get rid of the bits on the side, but I would just keep that for something else, or like a fish pie or something like. I'm sure we'll do that in the week. Would you like to do it?
I know you can do it. I know you
Oh,
can do
Tom,
it.
these are
And
so
remember,
good.
guys at home, you could always ask your fishmonger to do this. But I'm sure Michaela's going to absolutely smash it.
Oh, it's precious you put me under. This is not fun. So I'm going to start by just taking off a little bit of the end. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'll just put that there just now and we can deal with that later. Okay, and then you start from the little end, I think, right, Tom?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, get it on your board, that's it.
I
Yeah.
have not done this for quite a few years, to be honest, since I was working in a kitchen. Not our kitchen, another kitchen. Okay, let's see if I remember how to do this. You just need to get a good grip of it, isn't that the key?
Yeah, great. And
Let me see, and then I'm just going to see, let the knife just slide underneath. It's a long piece of fish. I don't want it to fall on the floor. Let me see, I'm still holding on to it. Ah! Okay, but that's not the end. It's nearly there. I'm going to crop the last bit of it off because I'm actually, for the Wellington, you need two pieces that sort of go together. So I'll put that to the side and at least it allows me to work with it.
Let's see the skin side, please. Let me see the skin
Let me
side.
see. Okay, the big reveal.
Boom!
Is that okay?
That
I just
is
need to-
10 out of 10. A lot of chefs will be looking at that going, she is good.
Okay, it's not perfection,
I
but
tell you what, there's no meat left on the skin at all.
it's,
Very
I
good.
wasn't prepared for that. I truly wasn't prepared for
You
that.
did well.
I'm going to actually turn this over again because it's nicer to look at this pretty side. Hello. You okay?
Here's Axe.
What I'm going to
Hello,
do.
Lachlan.
What
Nice
I'm going
haircut,
to do. We're doing a lot of different tasks in this household. In this lovely lock sign. We're trying new skills. I think that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah.
So watch your fingers there. I'm going to cut off the salmon just to create two pieces that are quite similar size.
Cut the
So-
tail.
Cut the tail off.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to cut probably about this. We'll put that here, which we can use later. And then, again, I'll just look at the fillet. Because I cut it off earlier, I'm sort of trying to square it off a little bit, so it's just two equal sizes. So I'm probably going to cut about here. Okay, and then I've got two sizes that are going to be eventually going on top of one another, like that. Okay.
Now, the reason we cut the tail off is because that's the thinnest part of the fish. And now you've got two pieces which are roughly the same thickness.
Yeah, and this will cook obviously much more equal than it would be
Exactly.
in the smaller piece,
Yeah.
right? Okay, tidy up here, just to move on to the next thing. So I think what we're going to do now, first I'm going to season the salmon. I'll just put a little bit of pepper on both of these pieces. Okay, and then I'm going to put a little bit of salt. You know, we're using rock salt to just about everything, but you could use normal salt. But just a little bit on top like that. The idea is to just prepare the spinach and then with the cream cheese, and then we can put that on top and then put the other one over. So with the spinach, it's a little bit similar to when we did the lasagna, but it's really important that you don't have it too wet, because if it's too wet, it's just gonna be quite difficult and very wet and soggy. So I let this drained off for a little bit, and now I'm just gonna put that into a container, and then I'm gonna whisk the Philadelphia cheese through it. You can use any cream cheese, but you know, this is what we had. This is just a tub. I mean, it's 340 grams. Anything of this sort of size would do. And I'll just put that in. Okay. I need about half a red onion probably. With this one, you could either put it in raw. I quite like that, and it gives a nice texture to it, but you could also just put in the pan quickly and just sort it off. So I'm just going to cut this. I just like to use a serrated knife because it's just so easy to cut everything, really.
I think this is what they call finely chopped, is it?
Oh, look at that.
Oh, lovely.
Okay. Now I will just add this in. So I'm going to use, I would actually use dill again, but they didn't have any dill. So we had to do with parsley, which is quite fine as well. I'd like a bit of parsley as well. It goes really well. It's just nice to just get that little bit of flavour.
I was thinking for your next cooking show,
Yes, what were you thinking?
I was thinking maybe you could do your famous salmon gravel eggs. Huh?
Just so I can show off my salmon.
Salmon and dill.
Oh my gosh, salmon galore. Yeah, just a little bit of pepper and salt in there as well. Yeah. I don't know, I just like salmon. It's good. It's easy to work with and it's easy to do things. We'll whisk it in a minute. I think we're going to add some nutmeg to it, actually, because it really adds a really lovely flavour.
It's really good with spinach nutmeg.
Yes. So I'm just going to put a little bit over it.
We made a spinach soup the other day, which I'm going to post next week. And this,
Delicious.
yeah, it's really
Delicious.
good. But the nutmeg with the spinach soup is super tasty.
I'm just going to work through this. It's a little bit messy, but that's just part of the fun, isn't it?
Looks lovely. Nice and homely.
Nice and homely. Nice dish to prepare in advance when you have people over, and you know everyone likes a bit of pastry, and I really love this dish.
Wee glass of rosé.
Wee glass of
Sun
rosé.
shining this weekend apparently.
Yes. I realise as I'm doing this that it's actually, I have quite a lot here. I don't think we're going to need all of this. So maybe a smaller tub of the Philadelphia cheese is actually plenty. But let's see. So I would sort of position that in the middle. I mean, this is how I do it anyway, but you know, I'm sure you can do it in a different way. But
You could do it in smaller pieces, so it doesn't need to be such a big piece. So you could do individual or for 2 people.
that's true. We're obviously doing the one bigger one that we can cut into a few portions. So we have way too much left. What would you use this for actually, Tom?
What, your leftover spinach?
Yeah, you could maybe use it for like a filling of tortellini or something like
Yeah,
that.
you could make some homemade tortellinis and pop it in
But
there.
that's clearly what happens when you're not so prepared for situations like this. Anyway, I'm going to take this, and again, you know what I said, flesh to flesh, we're going to put that over like
Perfect.
that. And then we are going to tidy up a little bit and then put the pastry. I'm going to roll the puff pastry out. This one is bought. You can obviously make your own if you really fancy it. I didn't particularly fancy doing that today, so it's good if it's been in room temperature for a little bit, not too long, because if it's too long in the room temperature it's going to get too difficult to work with, but a little bit is good. So I'll just use a rolling pin. 1 minute. Oops. Okay. Okay. This one is just to make sure really that it's well floured underneath, and that it doesn't stick. Again, you can always put some flour onto your rolling pin as well, but that's a pretty good size. Okay, let's see, we're going to now transport this. This is where things can easily go wrong. Oh my gosh, let's see. Okay, here we go. Okay, it's all there. All there. We are now, I'm going to just probably take about 2 eggs to make sure we have enough. And I would just kind of beat the eggs just a little bit just to make sure that the yolk is mixed up. Then I would brush on the outside of the salmon, just to make sure that the second piece of pastry will stick to it. Okay, just making sure it's really sticky all the way around so that the pastry is getting a good grip. Okay, then I will take my second piece of pastry. Again, same thing. I'll put a little bit more flour there than I did last time actually. Okay. There we go. I'm going to take the rolling pin to see if I can just nicely move this onto the salmon. You know, it doesn't 100% matter if it's not perfect, but look, pretty good. What usually happens is we need to probably cut off a little bit of the edges, but I would usually... Okay, so try and get the air bubbles out if you can, because it just makes it a little bit more sort of solid. And I'm going to cut this off a wee bit. Okay. too much pastry. There we go. And then this is where I would just sort of curl it up a little bit because I think it looks a bit nicer. It's like a little parcel, isn't it? Okay, actually what I'm going to do before I put the egg wash is I'm probably going to move it onto the greaseproof paper there that I just rescued from the pastry. Just because as soon as you put the egg wash on, it will obviously start to get quite wet to work with. So I think, let me see, I need some flour on that, I think, to get in there. There we go. I have made an awful mess. And then all you have to do is to just egg wash it again. Voila.
It's very good.
We're going to put this in the fridge now, and I say it needs to be in for about 20-25 minutes at least. You could leave it in much longer, and then if you need to and you don't have the time to cook it just now, and after it's been in the fridge, we will put it into the oven. Okay. It's been in the fridge now for a little while. Actually, I had to put it into the wine fridge because I didn't have any space. But it's nice and cool. I'm going to put some egg wash on it actually, again, because if you do that, it does bring out that really nice golden color of it. So we're going to put that on. Put that there. I've got a tray ready as well for it to go into the oven. Put a little bit of olive oil on there. I don't think it's necessary, but it helps a little bit to not stick.
Shiny.
I love a Wellington. I mean, I really do. I love a beef Wellington or a salmon Wellington or any kind. It's just delicious. I'm going to try and move that on. So now we're going to put this in the oven, 200 degrees, let's see, in the middle of the oven, and for about 35 minutes. Usually the colour would the colour would be good at that point in time. You could also at that point you can put a wee stick in to just check that it's hot inside and cook through. But about 35 minutes should be okay. 200 degrees. I'm going to head back out in the sun. Okay, let's see how this goes. Oh, very hot. Ooh.
Oh, that is unbelievable.
That's looking good. Whoa.
Super nice.
Look at that.
That does look good.
It's a good colour. And I'm going to check first that it's hot. So I would put, I would just use something like a pin like this and just check the temperature inside when you pull it out. I'm always a little bit careful, but I would usually touch it with my finger first and then I would touch the bottom of my lip. And if it is warm, it should be properly cooked through. So what we need to do is put that to the side just to rest for a few minutes, maybe 5 minutes. And in the meantime, I'm just going to make a little sauce to go with it. So I was going to make a sauce that we like to eat with the Wellington. Sometimes we eat it with just a green salad or even potatoes if you're more hungry or whatever really you wish to do. I was thinking to make a cold kind of creme fraiche based sauce to go with it today. And I'm just going to use the herbs that we've got. I would have loved a bit of dill, of course, but we don't have that. I'm going to use some basil and some parsley instead.
Some asparagus this time of year would be good. Asparagus, peas, broad beans.
Yes, totally. That would go really, really well. I just chopped up the other half of the red onion as well. So I'm going to put that in too. And I thought I was going to add a little bit of an apple to it as well, which is quite nice.
It's quite controversial.
It's a Swedish thing, possibly. Okay, so I've got just some normal creme fraiche. You know, you can use like sour cream or anything like this if you like. And if you want to heat it up, you could do that. I quite like when it's actually cold on the side, but let's see how it goes. And let's see what the chef thinks.
No, that's you Swedes and you Scandis. You love the little new potatoes with the creme fraiche inside, don't you?
that.
And like the kind of caviar or the shrimps on top, you know. So it's good with the raw red onion. It's really good. It's really tasty.
We eat a lot of red onion. I think it's just a nice contrast to anything really. Salad. I'm just going to pick a few leaves of basil and just sort of chop them up a little bit. All this, any herbs that you have, coriander or anything like that, is just like nice to put it into the mix.
So when you were growing up, was there a salmon every week, or did the fish vary between salmon and herring? Or
yeah, I mean we eat a lot of herring and salmon and fish in general in Sweden. Yeah, I mean we had fish every week. We also have pancakes on a Thursday. That's what we do.
All right. But you do the pancakes really like with the
more like the crepe.
Yeah, the whole grain flour and savoury pancakes.
Yeah, we do savoury pancakes because it's just I think it's just a lot healthier for you and better for you. But you know, whatever people like. Yeah, we just my mum is a very good cook and my brother as well, and you know we've always.
Your brother's a very good cook. The bugger has 2-star Michelin in New York City, Asker restaurant. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. Brilliant, brilliant.
Yeah, something went wrong with me. I clearly don't have the same genes.
I don't know. We saw you skinning that salmon.
Oh come on! I do other things. Anyway, yeah, I was gonna cut the apple. I just took whatever we had. I just quite like apple in something like this because it's a nice contrast. You know, you can do it with the apple or without the apple, but I think it adds a nice touch. So I'm just going to cut that down into some smaller pieces. I would actually leave the skin on. You know, you could take that off if you want or not. And you know, I'm not too precious about all the pieces being it's quite fine. It's fine if they're not. It still tastes the same actually, and they're hidden in the sauce, so it's okay.
I feel quite light and springy, you know, with this nice weather. This would be a cracking dish for this time of year, with a nice vibrant white wine, or you know, a wee glass of rosé.
You read my mind. Okay, I'm just going to put this in.
Again, if you were doing a dinner party, you could have this all ready.
Totally.
You know, beforehand.
And again, it's like I said, you know, whether you do it cold, it's just nice that it's cold. You can sort of just rest in the fridge until you're ready to go.
That does look good, actually.
You season this as well if you wanted to, but I think I'm actually going to leave it because I think it's quite nice where it's just the natural flavours of what is actually inside here. And I just think personally that it goes really, really well with
So no salt and pepper?
Wellington. No. Would that be alright?
Jesus. Rock and roll.
Rock and roll. Okay, I think we're going to move the this attempt to move it anyway onto. So the size that we've got here is probably enough for about 4 to 6 people, 400 people maybe, and maybe 2 little ones. So it's perfect for us. I'm going to cut it and just cut quite close to the end, but only so that, you know, we can really cut into the pastry.
Oh, look at that pastry.
See, the pastry looks good, doesn't it? Let's see if we can just have that removed. A second. So there we go. Oh dear, I'm going to have to put that there. Can you see that? Wait, I'm going to have to take this off. So when we're cutting in,
Go.
I would do quite a large sort of chunk because it's quite nice to actually get that nice pastry that we've done now. So I'm probably going to sort of go about here. It's quite long, this piece. How about that?
Look at that.
And then I would just take a good sort of chunk of the lovely sauce that we made. I look forward to hearing what you think. And voila, that's our Salmon Wellington.
That is a beauty. And even when you look inside here, you can see the two pieces even better there. Wow.
Well, thank you very much.
Michaela, well done. We take our hats off to you. Another masterclass. Sorry about my filming, guys. And we'll see you soon. Have a great weekend.
Thanks.